transitions, a new autumn. The leaves of the trees have changed their colors. I remember the spring, when so unexpectedly the buds began to swell, and tiny, tender green leaves started to emerge. Shyly, slowly they unfurled, and grew till those tiny little pale green bits had morphed into strong, dark green and sturdy things. They could handle anything. Then after a while, little spots of yellow appeared. It hurt, and oh so valiantly. I tried to ignore it. It's just a trick of the light, I said to myself. But the more I ignored it, the more I could see that the yellow bits only grew, and with it my anxiety. I didn't want the leaves to fall. But then, suddenly, encouraged, I found a new perspective, the confidence to look at the autumn and see it as it is. The old disappears just to make room for the new, and the now welcome change arrives in a storm of colors. Point of view. The glow of the trees. It captures my attention, focused on the contrast of the leaves and the sky. The edges glittering, sparks of the sun catching my eye. A frozen forest, wrapped in stillness and snow. The drops that are dripping, melting. They shine like rainbows, each one unique. Then the sun moves through the sky. The rainbows disappear. The angle, its point of view, it changes. What once was sparkling, glowing and beautiful seems now gray, drab and dreary in contrast. But I know that what I need is patience. Find my old angle. The next day I return and see that dazzling rainbows have come back, more beautiful than ever. Forest. Slowly, slowly, the forest freezes. Tiny little crystals, casting tiny little rainbows, creep along the twigs, lending a glittering stillness to the trees. The creatures fall asleep, safely in their nest, inside their burrows, filled with warm, soft fur. The frost, it cannot touch them, protected as they are. The sleeping stillness covers all with a blanket of snow. It's waiting for the spring to come, when life bursts forth again in joyous celebration. But for now still the forest sleeps. The small shards of ice still tinkling in the trees, moved by the wind and shining in the bright light of the sun against the deep blue sky. Safety. The dewdrops fall like tears from the trees. They glisten in the sun like diamonds. The forest is yet frozen, beautiful in its stillness. Yet underneath I sense a raw passion, restrained, shuddering to break free. High up there in the mountains, a tiny pebble falls. It drops onto another tiny stone which rolls, cascading into a sliding, the unstoppable dragging of an avalanche, a landslide that destroys all that's in its path, unstoppable. Down in the valley, a river flows calmly. On the other shore, safe and sheltered, a tiny campfire alights. The smell of food and drink permeates the crisp, clear mountain air. A tiny little tent promises coziness and warmth.